Quebec Outfitters Camp is brought to you by Remington, Can-Am BRP, Quebec Outfitters, and Barnes Bullets. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Quebec Outfitters Camp. This week we're stepping our way to Temiskaming in western Quebec, a stone's throw from the Ontario border, to enjoy some great fishing at one of Quebec's most renowned nature destinations, La Réserve Beauchene. Known above all for its scenic and extraordinarily diverse lands and waters, the reserve has built a reputation over the years as a top destination for anglers, hunters, and outdoor enthusiasts. Today, the reserve has a world-class reputation precisely because its owners have worked tirelessly to develop and showcase this hidden natural paradise where the boreal and mixed forest meet. The large colonial-style main lodge faces Lac Beauchene and has welcomed guests since its construction in 1924 for Lawrence Jones, an American distiller who fell in love with the area's charms. Although Lawrence Jones has largely faded from memory, the reserve he helped create has continued to grow and pass its natural heritage down from generation to generation. Today, the reserve has exclusive rights to some 200 square kilometers of pristine wilderness. Guests stay in total comfort at the lodge or at one of the many cabins or luxury chalets. The reserve's 40 lakes hold 7 species of fish, including whitefish, lake trout, and smallmouth bass. The White House, as it's known, is the heart of the operation, and its imposing facade, which seems to watch over the surrounding lands, shines in the sun as a symbol of the natural beauty and tranquility you will find here. Among the many species found in the reserve's lakes, smallmouth bass are the definite favorite of the outfitters' angler guests. Bass are caught not for their value as table fare, but for the consistently arm-pounding fights that they deliver. Their athletic leaps and remarkable power make them one of the main fishing attractions at La Réserve Beauchene and explain why they are one of the most popular sport fish throughout Quebec and eastern Canada. The bass populations at La Réserve Beauchene exist at the very edge of their natural range and are therefore more sensitive to pressure and slower to recover. For this reason, a strict catch and release policy is enforced. Smallmouth bass display either green or gold coloring depending on their environment and can live up to 15 years in their natural habitat. They are normally between 30 and 40 centimeters long, and some fish at Beauchene can weigh 7 pounds or more. It's enough to make you fall overboard. Bass spawn from mid-May to mid-July. It's a complex process that begins with the male scraping out a nest on a gravelly lake or river bottom. The male then puts on a nuptial show, which can entice up to 3 females to deposit their eggs in the nest he's created. But the male's parental duties don't end there. He continues to watch over the nest until the eggs hatch and the fry are ready to spread their wings and fly, or spread their fins and swim, to be more precise. Temiskaming is one of the rare regions where smallmouth bass can be caught during the spawn. Anglers flock here for that very reason, drawn by the unbelievable power these fish have at this time of year. For conservation purposes, the outfitter asks guests to avoid bass spawning areas early in the season so that nature can do its work. The outfitter makes it a point of pride to protect the species and all ecosystems and works daily to make that goal a reality. In early summer, bass are often found in the cool, clear waters of shoals and respond to a variety of lures and baits. Some say that bass will gulp down anything that they can fit in their mouth. So think twice before dipping your fingers in Lac Beauchene. Depending on the temperature and the lake, spoons, flies, surface lures, jigs, and minnow baits can be very effective early in the season. In July and August, when the fish move deeper, try slapping weighted tubes off the bottom. Whatever technique you use, you're sure to find some willing fish in one of the 40 lakes that Beauchene manages. For our first real day of fishing, we join Dominique and Jean-François, two friends who will be matching up against the Lac Beauchene bass aboard one of the outfitter's fully equipped boats. Once the lures have been chosen, this is a crucial step for bragging rights later on. It's time to put the lines in the water and find out just what the bass have in store. They don't have to wait too long for the splashing to start. We're here during prime time as the ferocity of the bass eloquently shows. Even walleye lures provoke the voracious bass into a fury. Their appetite knows no bounds, and the action stops only when the anglers change lures or simply catch their breath between strikes. As always, fish are soon released in accordance with Beauchene's policy. It's good resource management and plain old common sense. Such a valuable resource deserves all the care we can give, and to preserve such an extraordinary fishery of this fragile species, especially one offered in such a stunning setting, anglers and outfitters should be willing to make the necessary sacrifices. This is how fishers and fished can coexist in order to protect the reserve's natural riches and ensure it continues to be one of Quebec's top nature destinations for centuries to come. Everyone's enjoyment, whether young or old, depends on it. Because of these measures, unforgettable outings are delivered daily at La Réserve Beauchene, and the goal is to ensure that it stays that way. At midday, in order to replenish their energy and share a few fishing tales, guests gather at a point separating two sections of Lac Beauchene for the traditional shore lunch, a can't-miss ritual for any self-respecting angler. Everyone comes together for a bite to eat in a friendly and welcoming environment as the fire crackles and the waves lap the shore. Only the finest ingredients will do, including fresh-caught fish from some of the outfitter's lakes. At Beauchene, the only fish you keep are the ones you intend to eat right away, so make a feast of it. No need to mention that bass are always off the menu. This point jutting into majestic Lac Beauchene provides an enchanting backdrop for the lunch. It's a good thing indeed that the great outdoors gives one an appetite. Concern for the environment is at the heart of everything the outfitter does. To protect the plant and wildlife of this unique natural world, a number of management strategies have been put in place and tailored to local realities. The most recent measure was the construction of a small hydroelectric station to provide all facilities with electricity. Fed by an affluent of Lac Beauchene, the station represented a major investment for the reserve's directors, which include General Manager Tony Avramchev. As part of a long-term sustainable development strategy, the construction of this station will significantly reduce the outfitter's ecological footprint while ensuring its energy independence. This is one initiative where long-term vision has trumped short-term profitability for the direct benefit of the natural paradise that is La Réserve Beauchene. The reserve's ecological vision includes a mandatory catch-and-release program, scrupulous protection of moose and lake trout populations, and strict limits on beaver trapping, to name only a few measures. In addition to its natural charms and first-rate accommodations, which alone would be enough to please many a guest, La Réserve Beauchene is also known for its gourmet cuisine. American plan guests enjoy a menu developed by Chef Gary Nisbet and served in a spacious dining room in the White House. A committed gourmet and culinary wizard, Mr. Nisbet and his team thrill guests with delicious fare that rivals their fishing experience. Well, almost. Though an excellent chef, he's not a miracle worker. Impeccable service and an enchanting decor combine to ensure the full and complete satisfaction of all guests. With each new dish and bottle, we take the time to enjoy the sumptuous meal shared, like any good meal, with friends. After all, one would expect nothing less at La Réserve Beauchene. With bellies now full of delicious memories, we resume our exploration of the lake. This time we're joined by Harry Down, one of the outfitter's guides. Guides know their territory inside and out. They know where the fish are and how they behave in each and every lake. Using a guide is the best way to stack the odds in your favor and truly explore everything the territory has to offer. This guide obviously knows what he's doing. Soft baits that imitate worms are very effective at this point in the season since bass are holding near the shoreline in shallow water. Their natural movement is irresistible to bass, which are particularly voracious in the peak month of June. Each fish is released with all due care before we head out to see whether the walleye are biting. Lac Beauchene alone has 5 species of fish, including walleye, pike, whitefish, and lake trout, in addition to smallmouth bass. The sheer variety is enough to make you dizzy. The other species are overshadowed by smallmouth bass, whose size and ferocity have helped build Beauchene's reputation on the world stage. However, they all contribute to the nearly supernatural riches of these magical lands and waters. Walleye, which are much appreciated for their delicate flesh, are another of the outfitter's attractions. This pristine jewel, unequaled in its natural beauty, will continue to draw anglers and hunters from the 4 corners of the globe. You have to experience La Réserve Beauchene for yourself to truly appreciate just how vast and breathtakingly beautiful it really is. Another episode of the Quebec Outfitters Camp makes a graceful exit in harmony with the fading day. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Quebec Outfitters Camp has been brought to you by Remington, Quebec Outfitters, Can-Am BRP, and Barnes Bullets.